dignitaries here present in this auditorium, and also ladies and gentlemen, and also young students, boys and girls. It's a privilege to be here in the Science Congress, which is very much the topic which is given on space technology to me is on space technology and the applications for national development, and that is the theme of our Science Congress here is on science and technology. So, space is one component of it, and how it implies and what the Honorable Prime Minister is looking for from the space technology, I will try to dwell in few of the slides. And also the session also comes under socio-economic development, that is what we are looking at. So, I will talk about socio-economic security when I will coming to the close. You can clearly see there are a lot of Earth observation satellite infrastructure which is available today. What does it mean when we have? We have 3-tier imaging means every 5th day we can see the entire state in one shot in imaging. And then every district you can see in every 22nd day, and then that is on the same satellite. And then you can go at the village level at a list for what is the sensor called, and you can see at 5.8 meters in multispectral. That is what resource at 2A is there. And when you have 2 satellites, you can cut down the time. That means in tandem when it is there, every 2nd day you can see for entire state what is happening. So, the monitoring of resources, what you have, I think of agriculture, water, everything we can do from our satellites, that is the beauty of us. And then you have very high resolution satellites which can give today 0.65 meters, that is 65 centimeters. I will show you what are the results of some of these things. But there the periodicity will be less in terms of repetition, but how well it can be improved. Then we have a ocean, there is a huge ocean, fisherman, 7,500 kilometers of ocean. So, we have the ocean satellites which are there and what are the coming in future. And then weather and climate, the INSAT 3DR, few things what our colleague Tapan has covered, I will not get in. But you can see at the bottom of the line, the series of satellites are going to come, 2 series, Cartosat 3 series with 25 centimeters, then OceanSat 3 series, GASat, which is a geostationary satellite is going to image. That means in a particular day, you are going to have 4 images. So, the type of processing is totally different. That is where I would like to ask the academicians and all the students here, research, you focus yourself in the data processing is not the same what we are trying to do in when we are having sun synchronous orbit. So, that is going to change. What is that change and what is our opportunities we like to look at? You can see this image. This is 65 centimeters indigenously done from this country, and on the stadium you can see for the top cover on the iron rope and its shadow, everything is detected. So, do not go by this word of 0.65 centimeters. There is something else called radiometric resolution. Ours is all 10-bit radiometric resolution. So, whatever is there is detected and it is there. How you capture that and how you recognize it is up to you. So, that is what the image processing and feature extraction from all this is an important subject when you go for urban planning or other things. Since this is already covered, today there is a thin line between navigation and Earth observations. We need all together navigation, communication and Earth observation, how they will sink in terms of opportunities for commercial. So, these are all the type of applications which are there in agriculture, drinking water. This year in this drought, the villages which are hardly even the tankers could not go, we had in a mission mode again use this information to solve, and we got 80% success in very tough terrains where you had to go up to 1000 feet to get the water. But it is not a sustainable way of looking at. We make sustainable in terms of where you had to, while drilling a bore well, where the check dams and nullabunds has to come in. That is not happening. So, that is your job now to do in future. If you are the leaders, you have to look in how well we can, and all this information is available on public domain. The fisheries, as already told by my colleagues, but we are also not looking at the OceanSat 3 is going to have fantastic payloads, including the sea surface temperature, ocean color, as well as the scatterometer. All will be in OceanSat 3 in one satellite. So, that is a unique opportunity for all of you to pick up and then work on it, and also the ocean color you can get from GASat, but there the processing will be different as I told you, because it is coming in different time of the day. And then the monitoring of infrastructure from ISRO, we do what is called NR census, periodically the land use, soil, geomorphology, the land degradation, they are all available on the public side which you look at. Watershed is very important because you should all understand our country 68% is rain-fed agriculture. That means we do not have an assurance of rainfall as it should happen. So, India does not have the luxury of using water excess, we have to conserve and use. How best we can conserve and use is the watershed program. This is where the government is investing something 12 to 15,000 rupees per hectare every year in every of the districts. That is the type of money. Why I am driving this point is, what are the opportunities for you as a startup? I will try to end in my talk. Similarly, the forestry, the decentralized planning, the panchayats, as for the 73rd amendment we tell, panchayat planning has to be done by the panchayat, money has to be there at least. So now we are enabling them to do that. There are some 285 assets in the panchayat. How to map these panchayats? There are a lot of academic institutions that are helping us today, and why the academics becomes more important. In terms of the weather and climate, if you see, this is something like savings. It's not the earnings actually in the fisheries. We are having 35,000 crores annually savings by the government because of fuel. The fisherman is going to exactly go to the site where it is needed, and they are able to get the fish catch. Similarly here, we are saving lives and also the property because the flood hazard donation which has been done, which has to be accepted with the state governments. Now Assam, frequently flooded states, already doing that job. That's where we have something like 50,000 crore savings the government is getting because of having a weather and climate forecasting mechanism in the system. And these are all, since my colleague has already covered, I am not getting into this. And then you can also see the different quarrying which is done in Bangalore. When you go to the airport, there is a quarry site. How much of volume is extracted? So you know how many trucks have gone, you know the truck volume and put through. These are all done from our Cartosat satellite. And also the dumps which are there, even for a building height constructions which are located at different places, and also how the at the bottom the three things shows the height of the buildings in 129 meters actually that. The resolution of this is 2.5 meters, but we are able to measure them very accurately and we may get contours. That's where most of the time we are bogged by this 2.5 meters, 0.5 meters etc. But every detail what is there in 0.5 meters is there on 2.5 meters. It's only a little blurred. You have to do a little bit of image processing to capture that. Similarly, the same thing which I told in 3 part, that is AWIPS, which covers the entire state in one shot every 5th day, has all the information what is there in 23 meters because it's 12-bit radiometry. So kindly understand there is different areas which are there already captured in the system which we need to understand. This is from the central ministries after the drive from Prime Minister. There all the ministries have taken. We had some traditional users, something around 20. Now we have more than other ministries which are come in, 40 applications from other ministries, around 170 applications in this area in planning, monitoring and evaluation, decision making, citizen-centric and societal and technology development. So these are all the projects now being done by Postal Department, Skill Development, Youth Affairs. You will be surprised. We also are surprised. What are the applications these people can do? But when we interact, there is an opportunity. While looking at Earth observation, navigation and communication all put together, you will get certain integrated solutions for that. And then we also have what you are all hearing about Amrut, the smart cities. So we have agreements on smart cities and also on Amrut, the base information what has to be prepared and how to plan. And this planning will be done online on a geo web portal. It is not being done in the office. It is done in the portal available for public. Most of the time, or the 74th amendment tells all of us are responsible for our local wards, but we are not, we are illiterate. Let me be very frank with you. We never know that planning what is being done. You are also equally responsible and you are supposed to certify that, which we are not doing today. But this is going to be done online, published online, and people across the globe can comment on the plan and give the suggestions which has to be incorporated, and that will become the legislation which goes to working plan. And also it is not static, it is digital. The way the plan has been made is not going, you can make intermittent changes depending on the requirements because you are seeing so many of urban floods etc. which is coming. So more of a physical planning goes into the system. And then this already has been told, it is not just only the solar energy, also on an energy from mini hydel stations which also has been put. There is also wind products for the wind energy related, and we have an information on geomorphology. The stereo pairs whatever it gives tells you what are the wind gaps. They are all very famous geomorphic term called wind gap. That is where you have more potential for wind. So one is a physical products and also a stereo information which can give you. And all the information today is getting geotagged. I am showing you here even a housing, rural housing scheme which is there right from the planning stage, where you are going to do it, how you are going to do, what is the plan versus what is the accomplishment is being tagged, and also the financial releases for the construction is being done on this particular system. This is one case. Then you have the Narega works today. All the Narega around 3 lakh things are already put, and every day around 90,000 points are coming new onto the Bowen GeoWeb portal. And then why I am telling this number, there is a reason for you to put in. This was the crowdsourcing which comes in, all IWMP, there is a modules called Drishti Shrishti. Only my suggestion to you is get into these Bowen, Mosdog websites and see what are the opportunities for you in where you can chip in, which I will tell you. The water bodies, my colleague Tapan has shown you here, but this has the blue revolution. This is another one what has been identified by Honorable Prime Minister in the group of secretaries. He has brought all in farmer centric which has come in. So we know in one district itself in Rajnandgaon, there is a huge potential. You can see the numbers there. If you make as a finger links and then put in 3 months, you can get the yield of it. So that is going to be taken, and now the 168 districts of the tribals are already on the job identifying where exactly the water sources are there, and from ISRO, from every 15 days we are giving today the information on what is the status of the water spread, and also we have certain curves of each of the water bodies, so we know what is the volume which is available and what are the yields which you can make it. So this is precisely the information we assured from ISRO, but the other part goes in how you try to make it lead and putting through. And then this is all which I mentioned the decentralized planning. There is an app you all can join. Today so many around 200 education institutions has joined our hands. So they are doing in the field asset mapping. That means if the 281 assets, if for a village, how many number is needed, what is the gap, and for that gap what do you plan, and as a statistical document you are also enclosing all the space images and the information background of it, which becomes an annexure. So we know for what money has been given, and the monitoring happens in terms of crowdsourcing and sequentially the satellite images to monitor in the sequence which I have mentioned to you. So these are the new areas which has come up, around 10 areas have come in group of secretaries, second green revolution. So we don't have to search for anywhere. Within 15 days we could show the data for the last 15 years, what the agriculture crops, what the need is for second green revolution in central in eastern India is, rice fallows is what is needed. The information is already with us because the land use land cover had already the net sown area, Kharif, Rabi and summer crops is available, and also every year we do the land use land cover at 250,000 scale. So we know exactly the area, so the government knows exactly the focus which are the farmers should benefit. In fact, one of the item which is given by Prime Minister to all the secretaries is, especially from science and technology, how to bring the gap between the rich and poor. So if you had to know where is the need, we are able to go directly to them, so resources are not wasting, the turnaround time is less. So the right people who has to get the benefit is what we are going to get. That is what the space technology with all these things are putting through. Anyway, these I have mentioned in terms of soil health card. Most of the time we think about a soil health card, he wants 36,000 entrepreneurs to do that. But it's not just for the farmer to get the information, but the micronutrient details are needed for the fertilizer company to make a fertilizer blend. And when you use it after 5 years, we should know what is the excess, because any nutrient we also take certain vitamins, at a certain time we have to stop. But we are going to get the hyperspectral, that is the next keyword which is coming in ISRO. We are going to make some aerial flies we have made under Everest payload, and we are going to have a satellite in GISAT with hyperspectral remote sensing, which tells you where is the residues in the leaf which is going extra, which is coming. That is how the technology is moving towards. And then this is the variable use of fertilizer and water. It can be very done. That is what more crop per drop. When you are having satellites giving you the information about the crop growth stage, and also its potential evapotranspiration, we know exactly how much water precisely we can give is possible to do, and there is a big business which you can put in. All this information is available on the geo portals which I have shown you here, and also there is an indigenous software called IGIS which is Make in India product which is available. Trivium and all, you can just download this from our websites. There is a 3D imaging. With your mobile you can take overlapping photographs and make a 3D of your own. All the collinearity equations have been solved and kept them for your purposes. But this bottom part you kindly see, where is what and mapping and why and so what, that kind of modeling, all these things can be done, and it's only the perception is the limit. Any case which you take it for the purposes which you are looking at. But the vision in which we are looking at is a socio-economic security is food, water, energy, health, shelter, infrastructure and information which ISRO can provide. Means where it is available, how we can increase its availability, and how it can be distributed. Or health, what are the issues in terms of the vector-borne diseases, etc., that which we can put in. But more importantly, which we are looking at in sustainable development. When you take an urban plan, forest management plan, it is all sustainable development plan, because they look in what is the need for today, what is the future requirements, and it should not endanger the ecology and environment. That is the statement in which it looks at. But it's not happening the way it should happen. So we want more academic institutions to chip in, do independently. We'll provide you the data, we'll provide you the resources if your project is appropriate, and then you monitor and give your evaluations on the plans which is given, either for urban plans, forest plans, or whichever plans which is going in. And then of course in the disaster risk reduction, more of early warning and preparedness. Today we are not using the images or the data effectively for the preparedness. There are ample opportunities including the construction and civil which gets in. And then the governance. What all we do with this umbrella puts in the planning, monitoring, evaluation and decision support. So here what I want to convey to you is, today huge amount of data is there. Today we have 17 petabytes of data at NRSC, and in the next 3 years is going to become 50 petabytes of data. This is not inclusive of all the crowdsourcing information which is coming in. Crop insurance needs a lot of data analysis, and data analytics is becoming a big game, and this is where we would like to have startups on this venture. I request you, all of you, to think how you can help wherever you serve, there is a resource. And I am not just putting 10 years back, we could get similar way the money from Chhattisgarh, 5,000 rupees per panchayat. Maharashtra, 5 rupees per hectare you invest, you know where to get 3,600 rupees as a water levy. And these are all the money where the states have invested in ISRO, and we developed the projects to them, and today it is continuing to happen. What happened 5 rupees at the time, it is costing less than 50 paisa today. So with time, and what you next year you will be hearing on how the low cost to access space is going to come. So at time the technology cost is coming down, more processing is there in the country, it is only up to you to think. The data is going to be more and free, it is available on the websites, it's only analytics and your thought process. Either for urban, in terms of the utility services which you have to give, or in the agriculture sector, certain segments which I told you. I thank you for this opportunity given to me, Sivan, giving me 3 more extra minutes. Thank you.